Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Glow Crazy Podcast. We are your hosts, Grace and Jamie. I'm Grace.
I am Jamie.
Happy Selfcare Sunday, everybody. We are so happy to see you all tuning in today. If you're new here, welcome. It is so lovely to meet you. But you know, if you've been with us before, if you're a subscriber, here's our weekly gift to you.
So I was like, oh, I have to give a gift this week, and then I forgot. So here's my cat's favorite toy. It is the Target dog, and she carries this around in her mouth. She loves this dog so much. We got two of them, and now we can't find the second one. So after I gave all the listeners this, I have to throw this in the hallway so she can play with it.
I love that. I hope you all love your Target dog. All right, so you guys see, make sure you subscribe down below to get a gift from us each week. Watch the video version on YouTube or Spotify, and you can find the audio version right on Apple. Don't forget to grab your Glow Crazy merch. We have some fun stuff dropping soon, so keep your eye on our socials. We have it all linked in the description below so that we can glow extra crazy together, you guys. Woo. Now, I'm sure you guys have already seen, but today we have a very special guest joining us. Welcome Michelle Peth, founder and CEO of Beettan, which is a sunless tanning brand that we have talked about on the pod before. So welcome, Michelle.
Thank you so much for having me, and good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, Michelle made some time for us in her schedule today, so thank you so much for coming on, Michelle.
Yes, I'm happy to.
Thank you. Now, Michelle is not just a badass businesswoman. She has built an empire while staying in tune with herself the entire time. So today we're talking to her about what it really takes to build something bold, turn your passion into a lifestyle, stay grounded while you're building a name for yourself. So let's dive deep into how beauty turns into business and how pale turns into tan.
Love it. Let's do it.
Now, Michelle, I have been loving spraying Beettan. Mm-hmm. I myself have had some negative experiences in the past with other sunless tanning brands, and I was super hesitant to get into spray tanning. But when Mary gave me a Beettan, and I was like, oh girl, I'm not going back.
You're hooked.
oh, I'm hooked. I need my spray tan regularly to feel like myself now. Mm-hmm. So, Michelle, what inspired you to get into the world of sunless tanning?
I know originally it was my sister. My sister is a strawberry blonde, super fair skin. So originally it was her. She was having a lot of skin issues. She acne. She's more freckly. Our dad passed away, but he's a redhead. So, or he was a redhead, and my sister got more of that and more. We both got the fair skin, but my sister really, really inherited his skin tone. Well, later in life, like when she was 17 years old, she had some skin cancer scares. So I was a tanning bed goer at the time because I'm older than her. I'm 4 years older than her. So I stopped. That was scary. She was having, there were some melanoma scares, but mostly just like any skin cancer. When you hear skin cancer, basal cell, there's a slew of them. She had all of them. She had about 20 places cut off of her in the last, wow. in that from 17 to like her 20s. It was like she was going to Dr. Finger was his name. That's funny for a plastic. But that's what she was going to, and it was eye-opening for me. So I also, I was, loving tanning, but I had to stop. So I wanted to find an alternative. So that's originally how I got into it for me and my sister. It was not supposed to be a business. I was actually like looking around. There was no one spray tanning back then. So I'm 42. So this is like in my early 20s. Spray tanning wasn't really a thing. In fact, when I got my first spray tan, it was by a little like airbrush makeup machine, and it took like 45 minutes to an hour. But I would work an extra shift or whatever and pay for me and my sister to get it done anytime we had an event. We were broke as a joke back then. So it was more for events, not, now I very much preach it as a lifestyle, but back then it was more for events. So that's what sparked the interest from day one, which is 20 something years ago.
Oh. Wow. It's funny because I do my waxing. I'm a waxer over at the Glow Spot, and I have a lot of clients who say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to the tanning bed after this," and I say, "Oh girl, we have Beettan right in the next door."
Not even real fun. So, but
I know.
I used to do it too. But if you look up research, there's actually an extra tan tax that happens, it's called tan tax, in multiple states because of the harmful side effects, just like they do with tobacco, because of the harmful side effects of the tanning bed and those fake rays. It is harmful to the skin. So now there's an extra tax on it. So, and there's also like the smell that comes with it. It's just gross, in my opinion.
It's fun. I know. It's funny. I actually recently rewatched Jersey Shore. And I remember going into like season 3, Snooki was like, "Oh, Obama put a tax on my tanning bed, so now I have to do spray tanning." It's like,
It's
for
true.
good reason.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's for health reasons. It's not a healthy. I just feel like anything synthetic, anything, we're learning anything that's fake that is trying to mimic what, what the earth gives us, is usually harmful,
So true.
So
Yeah.
we got out of those beds and I started tanning. I cannot say that it went well in the beginning. There weren't a lot of options back then as far as spray tan solutions, spray tan guns. There just weren't a lot of options. So
With all those limited options, how did you figure out how to make this
I
sort
mean,
of product?
I just went with it. It was all that it was all that there was. So, and I'm going to tell you, I didn't really use, I know L'Oreal Sublime was a thing. I tried that. I went straight into spray tanning. So even though we had stuff on the shelf, when I found that out about my sister, I will be honest, my first spray tan did look, I mean, not nearly as good as the spray tans now, but I was like, okay, here we go. This is better than L'Oreal Sublime. Sorry, L'Oreal. It was better than that. When someone else is doing something for you and getting the places you can't get, it is better. So my first spray tan, I was hooked, and I worked with the woman that gave me the spray tan. I worked for her, and then I ended up opening my own studio. I spray tanned religiously with her for about 2 years, and then bought into a franchise, and it went south. So because I was an asshole. I mean, I was a 20-something-year-old business owner and single mom, and I was going through divorce, and I was terrible with money, and I really just failed miserably at business itself, and I just was an emotional wreck. So I was all over the place. So I ended up getting sued by her. Actually, my first spray tan business that I started burned down, and didn't have the right insurance, so it was not covered.
Nice.
Tried to restart, and then the woman that I restarted with, I mean, she and I both made mistakes. I was her first franchisor, and she, there was an age difference, and so she was learning how to have a franchise as I was learning how to have a business. So, now in hindsight, there's been a lot of growth since then.
Of course.
But the business burning down and the franchise going south actually today has helped me shape and form Beettan for what it is, as I teach women how to have their own spray tan business. So it was all relevant and a part of my growth. So even though it sucked, it's, you got to fail sometimes to succeed. Like it's all just learning. In fact, I don't even consider it failing. It's all just learning. So yeah, I mean, it all was it's been a wild experience, but spray tan's come a long way, and I've been there for every freaking step of it.
And that's what I tell people. They're like, "Oh, I haven't gotten a spray tan in 15 years." I'm like, "Girl, we have come a very long way."
Yeah. Yeah.
What made you say, "Okay, the solution, we're going to put some beets in it"?
I didn't. So I was spray tanning. Just to make it short and simple, or try to. I'm long-winded. I was spray tanning everything. So what I was doing, I stopped. I lost the business. I got sued. Had to do that in the contract with the franchise. I couldn't spray for 2 years. I started bartending because when you're sued, they garnish your wages. So I could it was a sneaky way of me. I also am street smart, people. So it was a sneaky way of me as a single mom who was getting her income garnished her wages garnished. You can't do that when you're a bartender because you don't make a set salary. So I set up a payment plan with her or with her attorney, and bartended and had affordable payments. And so yeah. And also bartending ended up, again, one of those things in life, like it just ended up being really great for me for many reasons. So it was a really great way to network. So I ended up spray tanning again. The second I could spray, like the second that contract was up, I didn't buy the machine. The guy I was dating at the time, that's what I asked for as a present. he
Thank
bought,
you.
he bought the machine for me, and I started spraying. I immediately had a network of people ready to support me because I was a very friendly bartender downtown. I worked a lot of shifts. I was in the scene. So that's a really good networking group. Anyone who owns a business, the service industry people will be your best friend if you're there, if you are theirs. And I'm still in the service. Spray tanning is a service. So that's how I got back going again. I was using everything, but what I was doing was I was writing, and it's called when. Like, I started spray tanning like names in Savannah, like attorneys, brokers. I was letting them in my house. I was doing it out of my house, which was also kind of crazy because people were coming in my house, which was a very vulnerable.
Oh my God.
Yeah. One time, like a really big name in Savannah came through, and my cat had peed in the hallway. So I have some stories. But and I was mortified, but anyway,
Yeah.
they still are my client to this day. So anyway, I was writing down. I don't know if you back in the day. I mean, you guys are so young, but back in the day, like, we didn't have computers, we didn't have anything to keep up with like what you're doing with clients. I mean, I know like you do waxing, like you kind of break down like little tidbits, or you put it in your client notes. Well, I had like index cards and like a thing, and I would put what solution they liked, and I would listen to the client. I had no idea about the science. I just was listening to my client. So I was buying everything that the client wanted. Well, then one day I just started talking with a chemist, family friend, and I've realized I know nothing about what the hell I'm spraying. I know this is like when clean ingredients started to creep in. This is about 11 years ago. So I've been spray tanning all these years with all this stuff, like writing it down. At this point, I had moved 3 times and had the business, and the business was growing, but it was a lot. Like, I had several brands. I was pouring stuff in and out the gun. And so I worked with the chemist, and she introduced me to someone who could make. I just wanted a version that was cleaner for me, so I could wear white. But also, to be honest with you, I didn't even care about the clean ingredients back then. I just wanted to be able to have a clean product. And so when she was telling me different things, we were thinking about going with apples. In fact, one of my favorite brands that I was using back then used apples. And I was like, I'm going to go with apples too and call it Apple Tan. But the beets just have a more earthier. So if you think it's sugar, so the sugar reacts with amino acids in your skin and turns it dark. That process is called the Maillard effect. Didn't know any of this before. I was just like, sure, cool. A stain in the skin. Like, I didn't even know I didn't know the science, which I think is a big, huge part of the problem in the spray tan world is you can buy a kit off Amazon and you don't know what the heck you're doing. So once I learned the science, it just clicked. And then I was like, I don't need all of this stuff. I just need it to turn the skin. And so we took the staining bronzers out of it. I started ordering it in fresh batches. It was literally coming in 5-gallon buckets. And we went with beets because it had a milder smell, it had a longer shelf life, and it just had better results. So we tried apples. Carrots actually worked really well, but there is no freaking way I'm making a spray tan solution from carrots. So the sugar is extracted from the root vegetable. Root vegetables work the best. I chose a beet. I'd already have a tattoo of a beet on me because my son ate them when he was little. So it was like full circle. It actually pissed me off because when he was little, he'd be purple all the time. So I was like, really, beets are what works the best. It just was like serendipitous. It was kind of funny. And it was going to be called the bronze beet. Actually, truth be told, I hid the fact that I had my own spray tan solution because I didn't think people would trust their bartender as a chemist. So I was pouring it out. And I was explaining the science to the client, but I didn't tell them it was my product forever. I was too scared to. I was scared of, that they wouldn't trust me. I didn't trust myself. Like, this is all part of learning as a business owner. So, then I think what did it for me was Rachel. She's still a sprayer for Beettan. She moved to LA and was like, I can't find a spray tan solution as good as yours. And so I was like, oh, so that's when it went from a 5-gallon bucket to a 32-ounce liter. And I had my bar patron design, actually Emily Bargeron. I don't remember who. I went through a lot of people. A lot of people that rooted for me. I had somebody help me to design a label. Actually, it was Heath. It was my friend who designs jet wraps. He did it as a favor. He was a bar patron. We had mutual friends. He designed my first label. He helped me design it. It actually was awful. And I've labeled the product and started figuring out how to sell it to Rachel in LA. And then I thought, okay, I've got something because she's doing well in LA. I'm doing well in Georgia. People are liking it. And that's how the beat thing came. And that's how it all became about. I mean, we've had other formulations since then, but that was like the first and only product was spray tan solution. And it started in a 5-gallon bucket.
Is your formula patented?
No, and it can't be. I mean, I'm not trying to like do that. I mean, someone can make a version of anything, so maybe that's not smart of me, but my focus is now on the community and the science, like explaining the science. So there are other solutions that have beets in them. There's some that a lot of them are beet and sugarcane mixed. Ours is solely beets. No, I just was I took something I liked from all the solutions I was using, took out a lot of things and simplified it. So to patent it, I'd have to patent the process. And I don't know, if you just look up patenting, it just seems kind of silly because someone can just change one thing and have something very similar. So I shifted I looked into it. We're trademarked, we're all those things, but which means we do, advertise the beet ingredient more than, or the only people that do. But I think like I shifted my focus on the need, on what I thought that the company needed. And then, which has been the girls that spray. That's been that it shifted from like a passion for my sister to a passion for these women.
Right. And that's what I love. Your brand is so strong. It's such a lovely community of women. I was actually at the Beet Retreat earlier this year. And let me tell you, you mentioned you wanted a product that was actually clean so you could wear white. Michelle was showing us how she sprayed, and it was incredible. You kept saying, and see, the towel isn't brown yet.
Yeah.
You weren't getting that overspray. You're like a magician. It's really amazing.
Really? I mean, it's years of experience, but it's, I said earlier, like I listened to the clients for years, and then I started to trust and listen to myself and teach the client. And I think like in any job in the beauty industry, in the beginning, you want to do everything to make the client so happy, but sometimes it's not the right thing. And you have to go a direction, that feels good and feels right. And less is more. And it's less is more for a lot of reasons. And I think other brands don't teach us because they want you to order more solution. But less is more. And I want them to make more money. Like I'm speaking of the sprayers for the listeners. Like I have a whole retail line, but the spray tan solution, I teach spray tanning. I'm still at heart the single mom who was struggling, and I see this in a lot of the women. So I want them to get the most money out of each bottle, and I want the client to feel good because I'd rather the client want to come back looking a little darker than to go away feeling splotchy or uneven. So less is more with any spray tan, in my opinion.
Truly.
And
yes.
You can spray on a white towel and a pink tent if you do it right.
Yes. Yes. So how old exactly is Beettan now?
So this May was 11 years. I'd say it grew legs and really, I realized I had something, ironically, the year of COVID. That's when it kind of blew up.
Of course, right?
That's when the online academy was built for spray tanning, the spray tan certification online. That's when the retail took off because I had to pivot because everyone was shut down. Little did I know I was trying to survive, but actually it was creating a very strong foundation for the company.
Wow. That is really incredible.
It was an accidental, really great thing, which, I mean, that is life. That's how things happen.
It's so true.
Yep.
It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's when it took off, was COVID, ironically.
Of course.
And have you had one of those moments where you step back and you say, wow, I made it. This brand is where I want it to be, or?
No. I always want more. I will say, like, a couple of really cool things happen. I think, like, if I'm speaking from, like, the teenager in me who really was in a low place in life, I had my kid young. I had suffered a lot of depression, a lot of things. If I was that girl, I mean, I sprayed Channing Tatum, so that was pretty cool. I sprayed Channing Tatum, Adam Sandler's wife, and Zac Efron. I sprayed Alexandra Daddario, who's in Baywatch. I sprayed the cast of Baywatch. I did not spray The Rock. Everybody asked me. I'm like, he is tan.
He is tan. He is tan.
I didn't even meet him. I didn't have anything to do with him. But I sprayed Alexandra Daddario, who's the beautiful brunette. She's now huge. Like, that was her taking off moment. I was texting her. I would see her naked every week. She was really kind and lovely. She's beautiful inside and out. And then I sprayed Zac Efron. He was very, very kind. But the first celebrity I sprayed was Adam Sandler's wife. So kind. I have pictures of her. I never got a picture with Zac Efron. And then I went through a breakup 2 years ago, and I'm very emotionally attached. I'm a very emotionally attached human. So breakups are really hard for me, even if it was like not meant to be a terrible match. I love so hard. So I was crying, leaving this man, and just teary-eyed, and the makeup artist of Channing Tatum called me and was like, and she had found us on Google in Atlanta. So she also called my Atlanta girl. So that is an I made it moment, because it wasn't a referral through a friend or like someone I knew in Savannah working in film. They Googled, found Beettan, and we got Channing Tatum. So that is wild.
That's so cool.
Well, and I ended up, my girl in Atlanta, she was going to Georgia Tech. A lot of our sprayers are college students. And she was on break, or Christmas break, because those were in December, and she was out of town with her family. So I drove my butt all the way to Atlanta to spray him for his, not even for the movie, for his trip to the bottom. This is when he was dating Zoe. So he was going to meet her for the holidays, and I sprayed him, and he offered me a beer. I didn't.
Girl.
And I didn't.
Did you say yes?
No, I'm so stupid.
Why wouldn't you say yes?
Card was hitting on me, but I don't know. If you know anything about me, if you ask anyone, I black out when I'm nervous. So I'm not actually myself. I'm not actually myself whenever I'm in that nervous mode. I like black out, and I don't know who the hell I am, but my subconscious is over.
That's so funny. Like your alter ego.
Like, what? When I left, I was like, what the hell? Why did I say no? Anyway, I turned Channing Tatum down for a beer, so I think that's an I made it moment. But
that's badass.
The real I made it moment, I think moments are every time someone gets something like I did out of the spray tan business. Whether it's someone adding on the service to a business, or someone just really wanting something. We've had divorcees. We've had people come out of abusive marriages that just wanted something for their own. The overhead is low on this business, and we've simplified it. So what can seem overwhelming opening a business, someone who don't think that they have what it takes, we have everything set in place and a support system. There is no get rich quick scheme. Like, I don't care what MLM or whatever out there says it. I hate it. I'm no bashing MLMs. Like, we have a lot of people who are, I'm a part of the Ramon MLM because I love the products. Like, no bashing that network marketing concept, but that's not what this is. It's a supportive community. So, we're here for every step of the way, both the spray tan side of it, the product side of it, but also the business side of it. Also, sometimes just the supportive community part of it, which I'm finding, we have the beet retreat, which Grace came to. That part of it is like, it's slower to grow. I've met with some big investors who are interested in Beettan, and they don't want to change the concept because I've had some people want to change it to a franchise. I've had some people want to change it to a network marketing. But once they like hear the stories and the women and how a spray tan business can change, it changed my life. It really, no one wants to change anything. So it's slower to grow. I mean, having hundreds of spray tan artists sounds like I'm killing it, or the company is killing it. But it is still, to get to the next level, we need thousands. We need to be in every state and all big cities. So that is the direction I'm headed. But I think the aha and the big I made it is every time this business touches someone's life and changes it for the positive, like it did me, it gives them a sense of pride, self-confidence, something to look forward to, something that's their own, is their business, which I couldn't do that if I went the franchise route, because, we've got some of the cutest names out there where they came up with their own branding, and we're just here for the support, and they're certified and licensed to use our logo and our brand, but they can make it their own too. And it's really special to see, these women, Allison in St. Augustine, she put it down and gave up and then picked it back up, and now she's crushing it. We've got Caroline in Nashville, who is using the logo. She's Beettan Nash. She's killing it. So, and then we've got some who, we've got a school teacher in Statesboro who still does it part-time, but loves every second of it. Her dad told me one time, like, she's making more money part-time with the spray tanning than she does at school, but she loves being a teacher. So she's going to continue to do that. So we support whatever, however, whatever you want to do with the business. And so that is the long-winded answer to that question, is my made it moment. Like, it's really cool that I met celebrities, but it's even cooler that this business is making someone feel just like it made me feel, and giving them a sense of purpose and pride. I love that part.
Yeah,
being
beautiful.
at that beet retreat, it was so inspiring, being surrounded by all those women and hearing their stories. And that really is a beautiful thing to be able to give to people, create that community.
Yeah. And it's full circle, like it comes back, like those are the things that push me, because owning a business and now a company is really hard. And those are the moments that keep me going. So I always tell my girls, like, stop focusing on the negative. You can focus on all the negative and the client that might have had a bad day and projected their shit on you, or the stupid Comcast that won't answer the damn phone ever. Like, there's little things that trigger us and are like, oh, why am I doing this? Whatever. I say the Comcast because I couldn't get the computer to come on yesterday. It was like fresh on the mind. But I always say, like, take a moment and focus on the client that was happy, because it's so easy to get, soaked up. So yeah, that's what does it for me. That's what keeps me motivated. It keeps me going during those hard economy years, which we've had.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the happy, seeing and hearing these women that are really happy and loving the business. That's what keeps me going. And of course, like my clients who love the retail line, who love the products, it's all relative. Our slogan is empowering women one tan at a time. When I have a client come in to get a spray tan, or come to pick up the mousse or the lotion or whatever the case may be, and they're doing it just to feel better, that is my favorite answer. They're not doing it for a wedding. They just want something to give them a little feel good. That's my favorite answer. 1000%. So anyway, I answer questions very long. Sorry.
I love
As
that.
you should.
Yes,
Yeah.
girl.
Oh, that's lovely. How many people are on your team in total?
I mean, we've had almost like right under 600 sign up, but I'd say we have like 250, 280 that are like super active.
Mm-hmm.
But just like the men in my life, they always come back. They're not going to get the support system that they get at Beettan. We have had some people, leave and start their own thing. I inspired them to start their own line. Sucks to see them go. It also just sucks because I kind of told him how to be my competitor, but
Yeah.
let him go. My new favorite book is the Mel Robbins Let Them.
Mm.
Working on that anxious attachment. Your people, just like, sometimes I visualize I'm a magnet, like when I'm like meditating or whatever. And if, like when you turn a magnet, if it repels like that, I imagine I'm a magnet. And if it goes away, it's meant to go away. And if it comes, it's magnetically pulled to me. It's supposed to be there. So I'm going to stop trying to push the wrong end of the magnet, and that
Mm.
meditation and journaling and practice to have that mentality. But anyway, that's we've had a lot of girls sign up. We pour a lot of time and energy. Mary, Danielle, and I are the main part of the team. We've got Missy and Esther who help super part time and for a really great rate. So I know they're passionate about it.
Mm.
We've got some good girls in house that do shipping who get really excited when someone signs up and then start ordering more. They have no idea who these women are. They just see their name and they get excited when they see orders come through. So like the vibe in the company is just so supportive, and I love that that's what it is.
Mm.
So that it's lots of women have signed up. They don't all necessarily stick with it, but I think that's just like a personality thing. Some people just sign up for a lot of things, and that's okay. If you have the means to do that, do it. So, and everyone learns at a different pace and a different way. And, click takes a minute to click. Hell, it took me forever to click. I got sued before click. So it's okay for people to
Mm.
sit down and pick it back up. And that's
Yeah.
what I preach. Is it financially wealthy for the company to do that? Probably not, but like all are welcome. I'm not going to put stipulations and things on people. If you order regularly, you stay on the website as a location. Simple as that. If you're not ordering, we take you off, because if you don't have Beettan, we don't want someone to look you up on the website and you don't have any product in. So it's just simple. It's just simple. It's just all simplified, from the product to the structure to the training to the agreement. It's very simplified.
Where are all these people located? Where you're in Georgia?
Yeah, I'm
Is
based out of Savannah, Georgia, so that's where the first one. And then the second one was in LA, which is really weird. And then we grew a lot in Georgia. So a lot of them are in the Southeast, but we've got them all over: Washington, California, Idaho, Nebraska, Texas. We're not in every state, but and it's funny that I can remember this: Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, Texas, California, Idaho. Um, yeah, I thought I was going to be able to name them all, but
a lot
I
in the South.
shipping room, so I'm like, sometimes I'll like make cute TikToks and be like, look at all the states that went out today, and it will legit be a different, like every box will be a different state. That makes me so happy and so excited.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
all over the country. To answer your question, for a minute we were in Okinawa, Japan, because we have a military base, one of the largest military army bases in Okinawa, Japan. We have some gals that are military. The business can move with you, and we walk you through that process. And so she went from somewhere in South Carolina, I can't remember, sorry, to, usually I can remember this stuff, to Okinawa, Japan. And I was like, sure, we'll figure it out. But it was easier for us to navigate shipping because it was a U.S. military base, because it's not as hard to ship when it's a U.S. military base. So
Mm-hmm.
she was there for a while. Now I think she's somewhere in North Georgia. I mean, North, she's somewhere up north.
Wow.
Are these
It's hard to keep up with.
are these studios you have everywhere?
So they can start out with a tent. So what I preach and teach is that, just like I did, I remember earlier I said I was doing it out of my house in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a space in your house, you can do it out of your house. Everyone's different. They live in different demographics, different areas. They have husbands and children. I don't want to do it out of my house. So some of them just start with a tent. They pop up in other businesses. So they'll host pop-ups, or they'll go to people's homes. So you can start out with a tent, build your clientele. We are here for that. We do the business coaching to get you there. And then, in fact, all the time I'll get partners that will text me. Even though the company's grown so much, I'm still very accessible to my spray tan partners, is what I call them. So they can text me, and I have copy and paste things because I've answered the question so much. There's a girl in South Carolina right now who's negotiating a deal with a salon. I didn't think she should take the deal because it was, 40%. And so she's supplying all the products. So I coached her through that and said, just stay mobile for a little while. She's just getting started. She doesn't need to take on that much rent. Now, then I have some people like my Nashville girl who went straight into renting. So higher risk, it usually means you work harder. So, I teach all, but not everyone's in the financial state or has the time to do what Caroline did in Nashville. So we're here for every step of it. So no, they don't all have studios, but yes, a lot of them end up with studios because we coach them how to go from a tent to a brick and mortar.
That's
So
awesome.
start this business off mobile. It's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, all my New Yorkers, listen up.
I know.
True,
We need more New
true.
York. We only have one in New York City.
Yes, so let's
I'll
get
move it up
on that.
north.
So here's my question. I have been curious about this. What is the process like for becoming a Beettan partner?
So we have 3 tiers. We have our first tier, which is called Get Sprouted. And so it's all like a play on words with beetroot. The Sprouted is usually for someone who is adding it on. It's adding it on to their current business. So like you as a waxer, you could add it on. You buy the machine, you go through the training. What's beautiful about this is we've had a lot of boutiques added on because boutiques retail is struggling. It's really hard in the retail world if you just hang stuff on a shelf, it ain't going to cut it anymore. You've got to have something immersive. You've got to have something experiential, or you have to have a service. So I actually just got back from Dallas with showing boutiques how to add this spray tanning on. It's just a pop-up tent. They can add it on. They could do it on Wednesday and Thursday evenings. So that is usually who does the Sprouted package too. We also allow them to certify people under them. They can call in, add someone on, like Mary did with you, Grace, like she added you on. And then if they leave, we disconnect their login because we don't want to create competitors. So we do have some territory protection. We won't oversaturate an area. But we have some areas that have a ton of part-timers. Like I have 12 other sprayers in Savannah and they're all part-time. So like they don't really, it really is community over competition, but we also, some spray tan brands will go in an area and sell the certification to hundreds of people. And so that's just a little, I don't know. I get the concept of it, but you don't want to be sitting in a room with a ton of competitors. But at the same time, there's a hairstylist on every corner. So like, I prefer to keep it, to not oversaturate an area. I think it cheapens the brand a bit. It also takes away from my small batch process. So I like how we have it structured. And then that's the first tier is you can add it on to your current business. The second tier is the same thing, training. You get a little more product and you get a website, a booking system, and a Google My Business page. Now, so you pretty much get a digital marketer to start your business with that. And some people will do the first package because they know someone who can build a website or they're really tech savvy. So they'll just do the first package to do it themselves. But a lot of people are like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They like that their website is a branch of our tree. Our website's established with SEO. We're all connected. It is very franchisey, but they can still be their own business and boss and whatever. They can have their own branding if they choose to. A lot of them choose to just use our brand. Meaning our logo and our name, they'll just tag their city onto it. So that one comes with a website and it comes with a little more coaching. And then the third package is the Get Rooted Plus. So that's Get Sprouted, Get Rooted, and then Get Rooted Plus. You do the whole thing with the second package with the website, the booking system, but we plan a launch party for you. So we actually come to your city. We give away a full day of free spray cans. We advertise before we get there. What's really special about that is like, it's not only about like learn how to spray tan on your own. Our stuff is pretty forgiving. So, Grace it's pretty forgiving product. So people so focus on the product, which is fine. That's like the first step. And then it's like, then what? Then what do you do with this business? So after years of doing this, I used to only do the spray tan training, and I realized like I'm teaching them a spray tan, and then they're like, no, what the hell do I do? So I pour a lot of my experience and what I've learned from owning a business and starting from nothing into them. But the third package is really cool because by the time I get there, they've got their feet wet with spray tanning. They've had a little bit of clients. We show up after advertising for weeks and give away free spray tans. People love and we bring the product. So we do a full day. They get to see how my team and me, it's always me that flies there. And then I bring one or two people with me. They get to see how I interact with these clients, because even though these people are getting something for free, you still have to explain the spray tan process. So they get to see how to put them into their booking system. They get to see how to follow back up with them. They get to see how we explain the product, the spray tan. It's an experience. They get to see the business, how I run my business here. And then we get to introduce the brand to the community. And as the owner, it's not like I'm any Paul Mitchell, but it is something to see that the brand owner showed up, for that person, and then for them to experience how I run and do my business here, there. That is the third package. And that one's becoming very, very popular. And that one comes with a lot more product, because usually those who invest in that Get Rooted Plus have a bit more of a jump start so they'll need more product.
That's a huge opportunity right there.
Yeah. And we set it up. It's not like they sign up and we show up 2 weeks later. It's usually months. We usually try to do it in a season. So like we just went to St. Louis. They signed up in the winter. It made no sense for us to go when it's snowing everywhere. So we waited until it warmed up in St. Louis, and we went during season for them. So they signed up like end of summer last year, then quickly went into winter and snow there. So we scheduled their launch party for May, so nearly a year later. But it was important that the timing was right.
Right, and then you have time to kind of get people excited, do that advertising, like you said.
We need that time. We need time for the sprayer to get their feet wet, and then we also need time to advertise and plan, because if it's rushed, then it's not going to be nearly beneficial for the sprayer.
And nobody will show up. Nobody will know.
We had a really good, the last one, I will tell you, the St. Louis gals, the place that they were renting, they had a commercial storefront that they were sharing with like an office. Again, you spray tanning, you don't have to have anything fancy. It just needs to be an office. So it was an office, but it was like a storefront, but they were sharing it with like an accountant maybe. But they were splitting the space, which is so smart to do in the beginning. Is you don't need much space. But I guess there was they don't know the details, but there was their guesses. Anyway, a woman drove through the property. So we were already planning to come in May, and the space that we were going to do it was not available anymore. And so these women are rushed to find something. So their friend, who had a pet salon, offered to give them, because it was Memorial Day weekend when we went, and he shut down his pet salon, cleaned the crap out of it, and that's where we did the launch party. And I think I was so upset. I was like, wait, because somehow I missed that. And then I noticed that Danielle put pet salon on there. I'm like, no one's going to come to a pet salon. You know what? They did. They showed up for them. We had a really good turnout. And that just proved to me that people like spray tans. They don't care if they get them. Mm-hmm. But, I would much rather have had it at a nice salon, but it was just what they could throw together. And it was the location was key. So what we did was we put our big step and repeat, our big banner in front of the pet store, and we used the foyer area, which was really nice. And everything was fine. Like you wouldn't even have known it was a pet salon.
Oh my God, drove through the place. That's crazy.
And they're doing great. So
that's
so glad.
And talk about an experience, that's pretty cool to be able to say that it was successful regardless of the location.
And we had so much fun. So technically we were in St. Charles. St. Louis is outside of St. Charles, and then Illinois is on the line of like Mississippi River's right there. I had to teach myself geography because
I'm not ahead in that.
All that raised in Illinois, Jessica came. We all had dinner. So I was like, hey, if you girls can come, because that's their they understand this demographic better than I do because I'm in Georgia. So we invited the St. Louis girl to St. Charles, and we had so much fun. I don't know if you saw the videos. We sang karaoke, we had cocktails. It was like we'd known each other our entire life. So that is what makes Beettan special. There was a moment while I was there and they were singing karaoke and they were dancing with each other and they didn't even know each other. And Beettan is the reason that they came together and they're dancing. And I stepped back and looked and was like, this is what it's about. We're connecting women through this business. And this is so much bigger. They cried tears. They talked about divorce and kids and life struggles and deaths. And I mean, we're women, so we was crying. There was a moment of just pure connection and true community. And it doesn't get better than that. That's what it's about.
Let me tell you. And if there's
great product, there's great product line. The product line speaks for itself. I'm now so focused on how it makes people feel that, and the lifestyle side of it, like the product does its thing. Like I can trust that. I've set that over here and been like, it's great. And sometimes we bring in, new product lines. We've private labeled some other brands and brought them in because they match the cleanliness and the ingredients and their beet base as well. I love that because it keeps me so focused on the community and the women.
I love that.
Which is super special for me.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's one thing about an event with Beettan, it's always a blast. Let me tell you, always having fun.
Yeah, I bartended for 10 years. I know how to have fun.
Yeah, you know how to create an experience.
Our parties are fun. We have another beet retreat this coming up January. You have to come. Our parties are a lot of fun, for sure.
Yes.
Can you have one in New York?
We need New York, like for sure. We don't do advertising for the spray tan certification. It's all referral based. A happy sprayer refers another sprayer, and then that happy sprayer refers another sprayer. So
I'm excited for all our New Yorkers to hear all about Beettan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, need more New York. New York's a great space because you could have an entire clientele on the street because of that.
Yeah, I know. We can do a pop-up in Central Park.
Yeah, you just do. I mean, and honestly, you just join the mom. There's a new group thing. If you just join any mom group on Facebook, I mean, it's crazy the networking that you can have on just one street in New York.
Yes, correct.
And
Facebook moms
struggling, so they'll invite you in to do pop-ups. It's in a space like that, you just have so many things to choose from. Where I struggle a little bit is with my smaller town. They get a little stuck. So we have to come up with new ways for them to, to get clientele in their area. So bigger cities take a minute, but they do really well there because you've got so many people.
Right. And I think about Long Island. I feel like everyone knows everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, basically.
I'm just surprised. Like we had a salon outside of Long Island that sprayed for a minute, and then something happened. I don't know if she went out of business. The girl that was spraying there moved to New City, and that's where she is spraying now, is in New City. And then the other one moved to Charlotte. So okay. I mean, we'll go wherever you go. Whoever signs up to do it, like it's going to go with you wherever you go. We'll help you figure that part out.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys take notes. Take notes, everybody.
And they can just go to they can go to beettan.com and go to start a spray tan business. And then you guys are going to have a discount code. They get $100 off any spray tan package.
Yes, use code GlowCrazy for $100 off your spray tan package, you guys.
One word, smush it together. And that's at the it's like where you enter your credit card is where the discount code part is. Sometimes people will call us and say, I didn't get to it yet. I'm like, just get to the credit card part. That's when the discount code shows up. And then immediately you get bombarded with the Beettan team ready for you to start.
Yay. I'm gonna take advantage of that.
Yes, girl.
You should. Yeah, just spread the word. I mean, this is how we grew. The product speaks for itself. It's simplified. I think the biggest thing is like you don't have to carry around a lot of product. You don't have a lot of overhead. Imagine being a mobile business like me back in the day and using 5 different brands with 10 different shades and pouring it in and out of the gun.
That's a lot
Yes.
of schlumping around, a lot of things.
Yeah.
Crazy mishaps happen with those brands, and since it's been simplified, they're less, it's just a very forgiving product, so there are less mishaps with this. There's less prep that needs to be done because it already has the pH balancer in the product. You don't have to upsell them, so the sessions take less time. Back in the day, I was upselling them on additives and prep spray and post powder, and the session would take an hour. Now I'm getting 5 people in an hour.
Yes.
And they're happier because I didn't just upsell them. The old tanning salon days where you go in and they're like, would you like this? Would you like this? Would you like to sign up for this? And you're like, just give me a freaking tan.
Yeah. Get me bronze, girl.
Yes. In and out with Beettan because it's a universal solution. So we don't have to like customize anything. It's reacting off of your skin tone and turning it dark, not staining it. It's a fresh batch process, so it doesn't have that weird smell. And it's aloe-based solution, so it sticks and stays where it is. So you can just get dressed and go.
Well, I've told this story on the pod before, but I don't know if you know this, Michelle. The first time I got a beet tan, I hadn't rinsed well enough. That's on me. That's my own mistake. And the next day I went to a hot yoga class in a white t-shirt.
Oh gosh, and it sweat through.
Sweat through. My shirt turned brown. Mary was like, Grace, just throw it in the wash. Watch this. It washed out like that.
And typically a lot of people don't, because you pay for a spray tan, and that's fair that you didn't rinse well, because with the spray tans that have heavy bronzers, that's what they teach, like just a rinse, no soap, no. But with Beettan, it's turned your skin. So we encourage you to, you don't want to exfoliate or take like a scalding hot bath, because that will remove layers of skin. That's how you get it off when you're ready for a new one. But it is okay to have a normal shower. It really is. So, and we have tips on what products can hurt the spray tan: Tree Hut, mineral oils, but we also have products that we have body washes and things that you can just take that help it last much longer to get the life out of your spray. But you can take a normal shower with Beettan. And all that was the color guide, so we can see what we're doing. So we preach no cosmetic bronzers, but what it is there's a difference between a cosmetic staining bronzer and a bronzer. We have bronzer in our product, but it comes from the husk of a walnut. There's some cacao in some of them, and our clear solution doesn't have any. But what all it is a color guide. It does give you instant gratification. Tarte uses these bronzers, but they don't have a staining effect to it. So there's no dyes, there's no anything. It really just is for a small instant gratification for the client, and a color guide for the sprayer. And it will come off, but it will never stain. And that was very important to me when we were developing the product line, was to make sure that bronzer was universal for all skin tones and rinsed off in the shower and would never stain. So that's how we can use the pink tints and the white towels and wear white clothes, because we don't have that violet bronzer or that golden bronzer or all the bronzers. I'm so sick of bronzers.
Yes, girl.
Because those bronzers just clog the pores. They have dyes in them. So now it's just a color guide. It has no staining element to it. It just rinses off, but it does give you some instant gratification, so the client leaves feeling better and feeling tan.
I absolutely love that.
But it will stop during yoga class.
I learned my lesson there. And I want to be mindful of your time, but I do have one more very important question.
Yes.
One of the most common concerns we hear from clients is that they're afraid that they're going to turn orange.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to those clients?
The reason you will not be orange is because we have color correcting additives in the product. Again, there's no staining bronzer, so there's nothing that mismatched. So remember in school, when we first started wearing makeup, when we were younger, I think for me it was like 6th or 7th grade, and I used CoverGirl compact powder, and I would buy the wrong color, so I'd make my face darker, and there would legit be like an orange line from my foundation or my powder. Well, that's essentially the same thing. If you're coming into a tanning salon and you're picking the dark, dark, dark color, that may not match your skin tone. So what this is doing is it's reacting with your skin tone and turning it dark. It has color correcting additives, as pH balance, which is the aloe, is red algae. It has all these nourishing ingredients that's in a lot of your skincare. So that is why it won't turn you orange. However, if you have a client that comes in, um, if you have a client come through and they want to be super dark, we like to teach the science, which is what we teach our sprayers. Yes, we can make you dark, but you're going to have to help it off, because when your natural skin tone shines through and your spray tan is faded, it will have some patchiness, and sometimes on the feet and hands will give that orange effect because it's such a different color. So we always preach go natural. If a client doesn't want to be orange, you can't be orange, because we're reacting off their skin tone. If they're not orange, they're not going to be orange. But if you have that client who wants to be extra, extra dark, you have to explain to them on day 5 or 6, it's not going to last as long, because your natural skin tone is going to, as the skin sheds, that Beettan is going to fade. So their natural skin tone is going to shine through. So it's, again, a long-winded question, but this is what we do at Beettan. We teach you the entire process, the entire formulation, the entire science, so that you understand it, so that you get the best results. So that's why you won't be orange, because we're going to educate that shit out of you so that you know how this is going to last and what products to add. There is no magical product out there that's going to keep your skin cells on longer than they should be on. In fact, that's unhealthy. Skin cell turnover is a healthy thing. So we're matching. This comes from my background at Clinique. I'm no dermatologist, but I worked for Clinique for years, and that's what I learned under Dr. Norman Orntreg, who created Estee Lauder and Clinique. And that is the key to, and they've been around for years and years and years, and they've been clean before clean was cool. So that skin cell turnover is really important. So if you're holding on to skin with spray tan, it's important to get an old one off, get a new one. It's a cycle of skin. So that prevents orange, that prevents patchy. So we educate the shit out of our clients so that they understand a spray tan, then they trust us, because we know what the hell we're talking about. We're not just buying something on the shelf and upselling them on the bronzer color. We're telling them why it does what it does and how to maintain it.
Yes. Oh, that is so important.
That's a good question. Yeah.
Yes. And that's what, like you said, the client education is because what keeps people coming back.
Damn years, I didn't know what the hell I was spraying on people.
Yes, girl, yes.
With the growth. This whole company is my experience, and then I pour my mistakes and everything I've learned over the years, and I'm still learning, because I am probably the only spray tan company who is actively still spray tanning clients myself as the CEO. I'm actively using the products with all of my gals. So
that's badass.
Awesome.
I think that makes a huge difference. I hope to one day find a replacement for myself and travel more, but I really do enjoy what I do. So
that's awesome.
And that's what's important. Yes.
For now.
Michelle, this was such an honor to have you on today.
I'm so glad you had me.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming and glowing crazy with us.
And being a part of the Beettan family.
I am so happy that I came into contact with Mary. It's been such a lovely process, and I've been loving educating my clients and using all the products. The drops are my current favorite.
Are they your favorite? I don't have a favorite. I say I have a favorite for every situation. Like, of course, a spray tan gets you fully sprayed in every inch of your body. But when I don't have a sprayer, like when I go out of town next month, I'm taking my son out of town for his birthday, I'm going to take the mousse. So I like to be dark, but then in the winter, I like the booster. So like Beettan really does have something for every lifestyle, because or like every part, like whatever you're going through. But I'd say as far as the easiest product, the water is my favorite, because if homegirl didn't have time to tan, I can at least spray it. It's thoughtless. You just spray it and go, and then later on you have color.
That and the vitamin C.
Yes. And vitamin C is good for the skin. So anyone that's just like a calming tan. Anyway, don't get me started. I'll turn into what I do for a daily basis.
I could truly sit here and talk all day about Beettan. I am so happy that I found your brand, Michelle.
And it's a fun business. Who knew that just a spray tan could turn into this little spray tan girl? Somebody made fun of me once and called me the little spray tan girl. So
made fun.
Look at you now.
I'm happy.
We're that proud.
Yeah, I'm actually very friendly with this person now, but she's a little catty. That's what us women do sometimes.
Sometimes. But look at you now. This empire.
Girl. He's a little
That is so incredible. Well, to all of your listeners, remember, if you're interested in becoming a Beettan Spray Tan partner, you can use the code GlowCrazy, one word, for $100 off your spray tan package. Okay, so take advantage of that deal, you guys. You will be happy you did it.
Let's pray for some New Yorkers.
Please
Yes, I'll spread the
come
word.
through.
Love it.
Of course.
Well,
All
thank
right.
you so much for having me on. This was great.
Michelle,
thanks.
thank you so much
Yeah.
for, again, making time in your day to be on our podcast.
Hey,
It
you
was
guys
so lovely.
got here early, so thank you.
Yeah. Now you got the rest of
We
the
got
day.
you.
I know,
What a
right?
great start.
Great.
Now, guys, if you loved today's episode, don't forget to rate us 5 stars, give us a big like, comment, share, subscribe. Remember, you receive a gift from us each and every week, okay? Don't forget, tag us in your posts, give Beettan some love. Here's one last thing. Michelle, where can we find you on social media?
So it's B10_official on Instagram, and it's just Beettan. We have other locations, so just make sure that you're at the Beettan official on Facebook and Instagram, and it's Beettan official on TikTok as well, and on LinkedIn.
Okay. So, guys, that will all be in the description as well. So don't forget to check that out. And you know the drill. Do something that makes you happy today. Drink your water, wear your SPF, and let's glow crazy. Yes.
Bye, listeners.